Mahal is an ivory white marble mausoleum on the right bank of the river Yamuna in the Indian city of Agra. It was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, r. 1628–1658 to house the tomb of his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. It also houses the tomb of Shah Jahan himself. The tomb is the centerpiece of a 17-hectare, 42-acre complex, which includes a mosque and a guest house, and is set in formal gardens bounded on three sides by a crenellated wall. The Taj Mahal incorporates and expands on design traditions of Indo-Islamic and earlier Mughal architecture. Specific inspiration came from successful Timurid and Mughal buildings including the Gur-e-Amir, the tomb of Timur, progenitor of the Mughal dynasty, in Samarkand. Humayun's Tamwik inspired the Charbagh Gardens and Hasht Behesht architecture plan of the site. Ihmad-ud Daula's tomb, sometimes called the Baby Taj, and Shah Jahan's own Jama Masjid in Delhi. While earlier Mughal buildings were primarily constructed of red sandstone, Shah Jahan promoted the use of white marble inlaid with semi-precious stones. Buildings under his patronage reached new levels of refinement. Completed in 1643, but work continued on other phases of the project for another 10 years. The Taj Mahal complex is believed to have been completed in its entirety in 1653 at a cost estimated at the time. The Golden Temple, also known as the Harmandir Sahib or the Darbar Sahib, Exalted Court, is a gurdwara located in the city of Amritsar, Punjab, India. It is the preeminent spiritual site of Sikhism. The Gurdwara is built around a man-made pool, Sarovar, that was completed by the 4th Sikh Guru, Guru Ram Das, in 1577. The Golden Temple is spiritually the most significant shrine in Sikhism. It became a center of the Singh Sabha movement. The Gurdwara complex was rebuilt again after the 1984 damage. The Golden Temple is an open house of worship for all people, from all walks of life and faiths. It has a square plan with 4 entrances, and a circumambulation path around the pool. The complex is a collection of buildings around the sanctum and the pool. 2. One of these is Akal Takht, the chief center of religious authority of Sikhism. 4. Additional buildings include a clock tower, the offices of the Gurdwara Committee, a museum and a langar, a free Sikh community-run kitchen that serves a simple vegetarian meal to all visitors without discrimination. 4. Over 100,000 people visit the holy shrine daily for worship. 13. The Gurdwara complex has been nominated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and its application is pending on the tentative. Meenakshi Amman Temple, also known as Meenakshi Sundareshwara Temple, is one of the oldest and most important temples in India. Located in the city of Madurai, the temple has a great mythological and historical significance. It is believed that Lord Shiva assumed the form of Sundareswarar, the handsome one, and married Parvati, Meenakshi, at the site where the temple is currently located. Renowned for its astonishing architecture, Meenakshi Temple was nominated as one of the wonders of the world, but couldn't make it into the list of 7 wonders of the world. However, the temple is definitely one of the wonders of India. It is also one of the main attractions of South India with thousands of devotees thronging it every day. During the Tirukalyanam festival, which takes place over a period of 10 days, the temple attracts more than 1 million devotees. Despite many people visiting it every day, the temple is well maintained and was named the best Swachha iconic place, cleanest iconic place, in India. Meenakshi ruled over the ancient city of Madurai and also went on to capture the neighboring kingdoms. Legend has it that she even captured Indralok, the abode of Lord Indra, and was on her way to capture Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva, as well. When Shiva appeared before her, Meenakshi's third breast disappeared and she knew that she had met her better half. Shiva and Meenakshi returned to Madurai where their wedding took place. It is said that the wedding was attended by all the gods and goddesses. Since Parvati herself had assumed the form of Meenakshi, Lord Vishnu, Parvati's brother, handed her over to Lord Shiva. Even today, the wedding ceremony is celebrated every year as Chithirai Thiruvija, which is also known as Tira Kalyanam, the Grand Wedding. The temple occupies a Red Fort, also called Lal Qala, also spelled Lal Qila or Lal Qila, Mughal Fort in Old Delhi, India. It was built by Shah Jahan in the mid-17th century and remains a major tourist attraction. The fort was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2007. The fort's massive red sandstone walls, which stand 75 feet 23 meters high, enclose a complex of palaces and entertainment halls, projecting balconies, baths and indoor canals, and geometrical gardens, as well as an ornate mosque. Among the most famous structures of the complex are the Hall of Public Audience, Diwan-i-Am, which has 60 red sandstone pillars supporting a flat roof, and the Hall of Private Audience, Diwan-i-Khas, which is smaller and has a pavilion of white marble. An earlier red fort had been built in Old Delhi in the 11th century by the Tomara king Anangapala. The Quidibi Mosque now stands on the site. Gateway of India. The Gateway of India is an arch monument built during the 20th century in Bombay, India. The monument was erected to commemorate the landing of King George V and Queen Mary at Apollo Bunder on their visit to India in 1911. Built in Indo-Saracenic style, the foundation stone for the Gateway of India was laid on the 31st of March 1911. The structure is an arch made of basalt, 26 meters, 85 feet, high. The final design of George Whitted was sanctioned in 1914 and the construction of the monument was completed in 1924. The gateway was later used as a symbolic ceremonial entrance to India for viceroys and the new governors of Bombay. It served to allow entry and access to India. The Gateway of India is located on the waterfront at Apollo Bunder area at the end of Chhatrapati Shivaji Marg in South Mumbai and overlooks the Arabian Sea. The monument has also been referred to as the Taj Mahal of Mumbai, and is the city's top tourist attraction. Qutub Minar is a minaret or a victory tower located in Qutub Complex, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Delhi's Mehrauli area. With the height of 72.5 meters (238 feet), Qutub Minar is the second tallest monument of Delhi. Its construction was started in 1192 by Qutb Din Aibak, founder of Delhi Sultanate after he defeated the last Hindu ruler of Delhi. He constructed the basement, after which the construction was taken over by his son-in-law and successor Iltutmish, who constructed 3 additional stories. The 4th and 5th stories were built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Humayun's tomb, Delhi. This tomb, built in 1570, is of particular cultural significance as it was the first garden tomb on the Indian subcontinent. It inspired several major architectural innovations, culminating in the construction of the Taj Mahal. Humayun's tomb, Delhi is the first of the grand dynastic mausoleums that were to become synonyms of Mughal architecture, with the architectural style reaching its zenith 80 years later at the later Taj Mahal. Humayun's tomb stands within a complex of 27.04 hectares, that includes other contemporary, 16th-century Mughal garden tombs such as Neela Gumbad, Isa Khan, Bu Halima, Afsarwala, Barber's tomb, and the complex where the craftsmen employed for the building of Humayun's tomb stayed, the Arab Sarai. Humayun's tomb was built in the 1560s, with the patronage of Humayun's son, the great Emperor Akbar. Persian and Indian craftsmen worked together to build the garden tomb, far grander than any tomb built before in the Islamic world. Humayun's garden tomb is an example of the Charbagh, a 4-quadrant garden with the 4 rivers of Quranic paradise represented, with pools joined by channels. The garden is entered from lofty gateways on the south and from the west, with pavilions located in the center of the eastern and northern walls. The mausoleum itself stands on a high, wide terraced platform with 2 bay-deep vaulted cells on all 4 sides. It has an irregular octagon, Charminar, historic monument located at the heart of Hyderabad, west-central Telangana state, south-central India. The city, which is the capital of both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh states, was also the capital of the historic princely state of Hyderabad. The first building in Hyderabad, his new capital. Over the years, it has become a signature monument to an iconic symbol of the city's heritage. According to one legend, the Hyderabad region was reeling from a devastating plague at the time that Muhammad Quli Qutb Shah was shifting his capital from nearby Golconda to the new city. He commemorated the end of the plague by building a mosque, which became known as Charminar because of its 4 towering and distinctive minarets, one on each of the building's 4 corners. It formed the centerpiece around which Hyderabad was planned. The square structure measures 66 feet 20 meters to a side. Each side faces one of the cardinal directions and has a pointed arch that is 36 feet, 11 meters wide at the base and reaches 66 feet high at its apex. A multisided column rises on each corner of the structure and, atop a lotus leaf base, continues upward until it culminates in a minaret with a dome-shaped roof 160 feet, 49 meters, above the ground. Each minaret is accessed via a spiral staircase on its interior wall and consists of 4 levels, each of which features a delicately colonnaded covered walkway around the exterior wall. Above the arches of the main structure are 2-story. The massive edifice of Hawa Mahal stands at the intersection of the main road in Jaipur, Badi Chowpad and was built by Maharaja Sawai Pratap Singh in the year 1799. Hawa Mahal derives its name from its unique structure, which is a mesh of small windows that allowed cool wind to enter the palace and hence kept the palace comfortable during the hot summer months. The main reason behind the palace's construction was to allow the women of the royal house to observe the festivities on the streets whilst being unseen from the outside as was the custom of the land. It is located right on the edge of the city palace Jaipur and extends right to the Zenana. Hawa Mahal is a structure made of red and pink sandstone and has a pyramidal structure which almost resembles a crown. It has been embellished with 953 tiny windows, also known as jharokas, and embellished with gorgeous latticework. From within, the Hawa Mahal Palace is based on 5 floors, each of which has a uniquely decorated. Jama Masjid of Delhi is one of the largest mosques in India. It was built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan between 1650 and 1656, and inaugurated by its first Imam, Syed Abdul Ghaffar Shah Bukhari. Situated in the Mughal capital of Shahjahanabad, today Old Delhi, it served as the imperial mosque of the Mughal emperors until the demise of the empire in 1857. The Jama Masjid was regarded as a symbolic node of Islamic power across India, well into the colonial era. It was also a site of political significance during several key periods of British rule. It remains in active use, and is one of Delhi's most iconic sites, closely identified with the ethos of Old Delhi. Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan built the Jama Masjid between 1650 and 1656, at the highest point of Shahjahanabad. The mosque was designed by architect Ostad Khalil, and constructed by approximately 5,000 workers. The workforce was diverse, consisting of Indians, Arabs, Persians, Turks, and Europeans. The construction was supervised primarily by Sadullah Khan, the Wazir, or Prime Minister, during Shah Jahan's reign, and Fazil Khan, the controller of Shah Jahan's household. The cost of the construction at the time was 10,01,000,000 rupees. The mosque was inaugurated on the 23rd of July 1656 by Syed Abdul Ghaffar Shah Bukhari, from Bukhara, Uzbekistan. He had been invited by Shah Jahan to be the Shahi Imam, royal Imam, of the mosque. The mosque was one of the last monuments built under Shah Jahan. After its completion, it served as the royal mosque of the emperors until the end of the Mughal period. The khutbah was recited by the Mughal emperor during the Friday noon prayer, legitimizing his rule. The mosque was hence a symbol of Mughal sovereignty in India, carrying political significance. It was located in the national capital of New Delhi. The Lotus Temple is an edifice dedicated to the Bahá'í faith. The magnificent structure of this building unfolds in the form of a stupendous white petal lotus and is one of the most visited establishments in the world. The design of this shrine was conceptualized by Canadian architect Fariburz Saba and was completed in the year 1986. This temple seeks to propagate the oneness of the Almighty and is open to all regardless of their nationality, religion, race or gender. The Lotus Temple is one of the 7 Bahá'í house of worship present around the world. As you enter the complex of the temple, the Mysore Palace, officially known as Mysuru Palace, is a historical palace and the royal residence at Mysore in the Indian state of Karnataka. It is the official residence of the Wadiyar dynasty and the seat of the Kingdom of Mysore. The palace is in the center of Mysore, and faces the Chamundi Hills eastward. A testament to the irrepressible spirit of the people of Mysuru and their kings, the Mysuru Palace has survived political upheavals, disaster and destruction, only to rise out of the ashes more magnificent than ever. World-famous Mysuru Palace. The current Mysuru Palace, the fourth to occupy this site, was designed by the British architect Henry Irwin after its predecessor was destroyed in a fire in 1897. The imposing building that stands today was completed in 1912, but it is believed that a Mysuru Palace was established as part of a wooden fortress by the royal family of Mysuru, the Wodeyars, as early as the 14th century. In 1638 the palace was struck by lightning and rebuilt by Kantirabha Narasa Raja Wodeyar, 1638-1659, AD, who extended the existing structures, adding new pavilions. The glory of the new building was to prove short-lived.